Drew Rogers here for TST Total Sports Talk. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, as you can see, repping the Blue Jays gear after a huge 13-inning win last night. I'm going to try and do this off the cuff. I'm a little bit different tonight. I only got a sheet with some stats on it, but I'm going to try and give you more opinion-based as opposed to just scores and recaps and all that boring stuff that you don't want to hear anyways and you already know from watching Sportsnet or TSN or listening on the radio or whatever it is you guys do. I'm doing this for you guys, just so that you guys know. I'm doing it for you, so that you can watch and you can know somebody who does this stuff on a daily basis. And I'm just trying to prove that I'm good enough to be a sportscaster, because I think I am. I think I'm damn good enough, actually, as a matter of fact. I think I could be the best one yet. And you know what? I need your support with this to be able to be recognized somewhere, some way, somehow. Anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about last night, okay? We're going to start in the NHL. Washington, big 2-1 win in overtime. They score. Mr. Justin Williams scores a Game 7 winner. Shocking. Game just a buck 4 in. Having watched this game, it was not very good. Toronto deserves a better fate, but ultimately what it came down to was the fact that they couldn't even check a guy in overtime. It almost looked like they were uninterested in the overtime. Like, it was a tic-tac-toe play. None of the Leafs looked like they knew what was going on until the puck was in the back of the net. Freddie Anderson, God help you, buddy. Like, he could at least get somebody to try and back check or something. I mean, it's just unfortunate the way it ended because the Leafs played a very good game up until that point. But again, Washington, they look strong, in all things considered. And they really took it to them in their home building. Now the Leafs got to respond, man. In their building on Sunday at 7 o'clock in Toronto, the Leafs got to be loud. The fans got to be loud. The suits got to be loud. The whole building's got to shake enough to put some fear into the Washington Capitals and tell them we're not going down without a fight. I know the stats, 75, 78, whatever percentage of teams that win Game 5 go on to win the series. So what? Leafs, they're going to win in 7. You watch. 2-1 victory for the Capitals last night, Game 6 Sunday at 7 o'clock. Other action last night, there was only one other game. The Boston Bruins beating the Ottawa Senators 3-2 in double overtime. This is a nice story. I like this. Sean Kuraly of the Boston Bruins was recalled right before the game to replace Ryan Spooner in the lineup. Not only does he score his first 2 career NHL goals, they come in the playoffs, and the winner comes in overtime in an elimination game in game number 5. The Sens had a lead 3-1, and Boston, this kid comes in and leads them to victory. And the funniest thing that I found from watching the highlights of this game was the cut to the cut to Don Sweeney in the lounge up there, and you could clearly see him mouthing Sean Kuraly. Sean Kuraly, oh my God, Sean Kuraly. Like, are you kidding me? You are not the one who orchestrated this move. It was your coach, Bruce Cassidy. He deserves all the credit. What a move, bringing this kid in. He was the boost they needed. Game 6 goes Sunday at 3 p.m. That was the NHL story from last night. NBA action last night. The Boston Celtics beat the Chicago Bulls 104-87. Chicago leads the series 2-1. You think they don't miss Rajon Rondo, who is going to miss the rest of the playoffs? Think again. Look at the score. All right. Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets. Oklahoma winning 115-113 on another Russell Westbrook triple-double. What's new, right? Jeez. I'm sick of talking about this guy triple-doubles, as impressive as they are. It just keeps happening. We should just expect it every night. You know what we should talk about when it doesn't happen? How about that? Houston, 2-1 in the series. LA Clippers beat the Utah Jazz 111-106. LA leads the series 2-1. Big news today, though. Blake Griffin's going to miss the remainder of the playoffs. Some type of toe injury. Good for you, bud. Guy takes a puck to the face, and he's back in there. It's unbelievable, these guys. Whatever, I'm not getting into it. Forget it. Okay, that was all the NBA action there last night. Why I'm repping this jersey and why I'm repping this shirt. Repping. That's what I'm saying. Repping. Why I'm repping this shirt today and this hat is because the Toronto Blue Jays won in 13 innings last night, 8-7 on the strength of Jose Bautista finally showing up for the year. He went through a horrendous slump. He was 0 for 20. Just couldn't get it done. He was striking out so many times. He struck out 11 times over that stretch, 4 times in the last game again, in the last series that they played. Just against Chris Sale, he struck out 4 times. It's just ridiculous, Jose. Ridiculous. So you hit a 3-run home run your first of the year in the 13th. Thank God. It's about time. Welcome to the party. 15 games later. Ryan Tepera got the win. He's pitched 3 solid innings. Good for you, Ryan. Attaboy. The home run comes off of Jesse Chavez. This is hilarious because he used to play in Toronto. He was at the strength of that whole Jose Bautista getting hit by Rougned Odor, and then he hits Prince Fielder at the end. It's just hilarious stuff to see how it comes full circle. Jays 4-12 now on the season. Doesn't make it any better, doesn't make it any worse, I suppose. It's only a matter of time, in my opinion, though, if they keep going the way they're going. 4-12. Playoffs, yeah, they look out of reach, in my opinion. I don't know if this team's going to be able to make up all these games. If they do, somehow miraculously, I don't figure that John Gibbons is going to be the general manager or the coach or GM, whatever you want to call him. I don't think he'll be the guy at the helm to make him do it the way he's struggling and the team is struggling. Tonight, they go again tonight. Casey Lawrence, the other call-up, Matt Lato started last night. You don't know his numbers because it went 13 innings and the game started at 10 o'clock. Casey Lawrence goes today against Tyler Skaggs from LA Angels of Anaheim. The game's at 9:07. It's the second of 4 in the series. All right, switching over to the OHL, the Ontario Hockey League Playoffs. Hometown, Own Sound Attack. Boy, did they look crappy last night. They lose 6-1 at the hands of the Erie Otters. Trust me, I was going into this with optimism, thinking that the depth of the Own Sound Attack could handle whatever the Erie Otters put towards them. Yeah, I was wrong on that one. Erie winning 6-1. They take a 1-0 series lead. Michael McNiven, boy, for a guy who was good all year, he had the best record in the NHL, 41-9. For a guy to struggle that badly in the first game of the Western Conference Final, what are you doing, bud? Like, figure it out. I mean, come on. You got to have a better night tonight after you're pulled for Emmanuel Vela, after you allowed 5 goals and 4 of them in the second period, just a romp by Erie. Taylor Radish and Alex DeBrincat, the OHL leading scorer, had 3 points apiece. For Erie, they had 4 goals in the second period, like I mentioned. They got to get it done. Here's where I'm really upset. Whoever decided that it would be a brilliant idea to schedule a back-to-back in the first 2 games of the OHL Western Conference Championship, give your head a nod, bud. What are you doing? Yeah, tonight, 7 o'clock in Erie, game number 2. Hopefully Owen Sound comes out with a better effort. They're going to need it, to say the least. The other game tonight goes into game number 2, Mississauga Steelheads and the Peterborough Petes in Peterborough at 7:05 p.m. The Mississauga leads the series 1-0. Boy, they looked really good in game number 1. I'd look for the same in game number 2. Peterborough, though, having gone 8-0 throughout the playoffs before game number 1 of this series, I'm assuming they're going to have a bounce-back game. This could be a really entertaining game, folks. I really expect it to be tight. I could see it going to overtime in that one, for sure. Okay, so here's what we're looking at for today. The Toronto Raptors are back in action against the Milwaukee Bucks. I know that doesn't sound newsworthy because of their effort last night, but it's still Raptors in the playoffs. They're in Milwaukee still. Milwaukee leads the series 2-1. This is about as massive a game as you can get with the Toronto Raptors. They need a huge game and a huge performance in this one, or they are going to find themselves in a very, very deep hole going back to Toronto for game number 5. Raps and Bucks, game number 4. That game is at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Check that out today for sure. Wizards at the Atlanta Hawks. Washington leads that series 2-0. That game goes as well today. Spurs at the Grizzlies. San Antonio leads that series 2-1. And Golden State at Portland. Golden State leading that series 2-0. In the NHL today, we got 3 games on the schedule. The St. Louis Blues look to advance to the next round, where the Nashville Predators are waiting after their sweep of the Chicago Blackhawks. Blues at the Minnesota Wild. St. Louis leads 3-1. That game is at 3 p.m. over on Sportsnet if you want to check that game out in the afternoon. Montreal is in New York tonight, hoping to stave off elimination. They trail in the series 3-2 at the hands of the New York Rangers. That game is at 8 p.m. over on CBC. And finally, Edmonton is in San Jose to face off against the Sharks. They lead that series 3-2. 10:30 p.m. over on Sportsnet. If Edmonton was to advance, it would be the first time they would win a playoff series since 2006. I feel like we're going to say that a lot if they keep advancing, because 2006 was the last time that the Edmonton Oilers were in the playoffs and they made it to the Stanley Cup Final against the Carolina Hurricanes. We know how that ends up. All right, that's it for TST, Total Sports Talk. Andrew Rogers reminding you to keep your head up, keep your stick on the ice. Take care, folks. Rogers out.